Hey, wanna see some deathcore on speed? Paint, dude, speed paint. Welcome to the Bear and the Brush. See you after this. Hello, you wonderful people. I will show you how I speed painted these guys with speed paints in under 15 minutes. This whole paint job was pretty easy. I just slowed on some speed paints, some metallics, some effect colors, and it all got a nice dry brush with glacier blue. It is an amazingly easy way to get a kill team on the board in just a couple of hours. With the 3D printed bases I got for these guys, it was even faster because I had to do no decoration. And I have a special tip how to make your brickwork really awesome.
First things first, I really don't like them on the wet palette. They just seep through or bleed through the paper and leave nasty stains on the sponge, and I can't stand that. Well, that's the only negative I have. I have to say I'm pretty pleased with the Armies Painter speed paints. They are a bit lighter than the contrast paints from GW and a lot cheaper. And they are darker than the instant colors from Scale. So right in the middle, pretty neat. So having an arsenal with all three brands is actually amazing to get some speed painting done. But if I would have to choose from one of those three, I honestly can't tell you which would be a good choice. I think for starting out, the Army Painter speed paints are a good bet. After all, a lot of people are not satisfied with the Scale instant paints. I for myself really like them because they are so light and are a perfect base for oil washes. But talking about my paint job here, I decided to give the cloak a nice green, and I covered the helmet and the shoulder pads with a black. All the other parts got a nice brown tone and the boots got a dark brown tone. Adding a second layer of black over the green made for a nice color variation, and so far I had no reactivation issues.
Also, if you want to see me paint cool stuff like this amazing Space Bear, join me on Twitch.
For the base I went for a nice muddy brown and a red for the brickwork. I also painted some of the brown over the red to make it look dirty. And if you add a little drop of yellow or orange into the brickwork, this will get you some nice variation in. And if you're painting dioramas or any other kind of brickwork, adding this hint of yellow here and there makes for a really believable surface.
So with the speed paints on, what's next? I only used some effect colors and a little bit of metal colors. I also sponged on some battle damage, but that's basically it.
So far, no issues with the paint at all. No reactivation, everything worked fine. I was pretty impressed by the black because I just covered the whole gun in black. And it had some really nice variations to it. It wasn't just all black. Because I haven't invested that much time into the minis, I decided to pick out some tiny details like Achilles, the lenses in green, some plasma stuff, just getting a little bit more detail into the miniature. But nothing much. After all, this is a quick speed paint job.
To finish this all off in one go, I'm giving it a dry brush with glacier blue, because I want to go for a winter look. There will be some snow on the bases afterwards, so it will all come together nicely. This stuff will do all the highlights on the models and set the tone for the whole environment in one simple, easy step. Just painting with speed paints is kind of boring, so I did a lot of testing with them. If you know which mediums you can use to alter the quality or the behavior of the paint, your range becomes instantly larger, and that is where the fun begins.
I haven't seen any tests on YouTube that covered the use of medium with the speed paints, so I decided to mix some up. From left to right I used the speed paint medium, Vallejo retarder medium, matte medium from Vallejo, Flow 8 from Liquitex, Glaze Medium from Liquitex, and Glaze Medium from Vallejo. I mix them 50-50 and smear them around on my glass palette, just to see how they behave, how they thin them down, how the tonal variation changes, and of course how long it takes them to dry and how good they will flow. To make this test more interesting, I grabbed my texture board and I painted a lot of areas with the mixes that I found on my glass palette. You could really see how differently the colors behave here. Long story short, the speed paint medium just dials down the tonal intensity of the color, but it dries as fast as before. The Vallejo retarder doesn't do much about the tone, but it is workable way longer. But what did you expect as a retarder medium? The matte medium felt like it wasn't doing anything to the paint at all, but the Flow 8 was a different thing. Yes, it got way lighter, but it flowed much better. Yeah, of course, it's a Flow 8. But using this combined with a Flow 8 makes for a really amazing wash. Gonna try that more often. Both glaze mediums acted kinda samey, but I really don't like the glaze medium from Vallejo. It separated, I was shaking it for hours and it didn't combine back, it got flaky, and the Liquitex glaze medium doesn't do that. So I prefer the Liquitex glaze medium. But what it did to the paint was really interesting. It kind of made it a better contrast paint. The recesses got darker and the raised areas got lighter. So this is something I really want to follow up on. Because if that is true, mixing them with the glaze medium will make for way better contrast paint, and this could be really interesting for future speed paintings.
I want to say thank you very much to all my patrons and all the people who buy my merch. Because of you, I was able to upgrade to a second cabinet, you can see it in the back here, to store all my wonderful minis, and I could buy an air purifier, so when I work a lot with glue and spray paints, I'm not getting all that toxic fumes into the room, and maybe that will be good for my health. So check out all these guys here, and thanks very much for supporting me. Since this was a speed painting video, this video was rather short. But I would like to thank you for watching. And if you hit all those buttons, like, subscribe, comment, share this video with your hobby friends, it will be greatly appreciated. Thanks guys. I also have a lot of cool stuff going on right now. I built a whole box of Cursed City, it's standing over there. I 3D printed some really epic bases like torn off coffins and stuff. That will be really epic. I built a whole box of Star Wars Legion, is standing right there. I'm working on Pride Marine and hopefully get to stream it and maybe even make a video about it, because that's something that's important to me. Well, I also made the Duchess and I have so many cool videos planned, and yeah, if you like, tag along for the journey. I hope I see you on the next video here on The Bear and the Brush. Bye guys.